Wow, there's people here.
Yeah.
All right. This book is Wrestling Demons. Best description was actually put on the back of the book. So, varsity wrestler Connor Morgan has moved with his mother to Portland, Oregon to get away from his drug-addicted father. But they didn't move away from trouble. At his new high school, 3 heavyweight wrestlers chase him through the halls in his underwear, past the girl he likes, out into the January cold. And then something weird happens. Something weird in particular is he finds out that he is attacked by demons, and a couple of his classmates save him. The chapter I'll read real quick happens a couple of nights after that while he's still trying to figure out just what the heck was going on, both with the demons and with the girl he likes. My computer went blank. I was multitasking, rotating between my Facebook account, researching the Enigma project for Mrs. Keller's class, and watching Vision Quest on Netflix. It's easier than it sounds. This was only my 100th or so time watching the movie, and my Facebook conversations are usually limited to stuff like, random guy I don't know, dude, sup, me, nothing, you, random guy I don't know, just phoning noobs, random guy I don't know is no longer online. When you move a lot, you end up with about a gajillion Facebook friends, but nobody who really gets close. It happens even when you move in secret so your dad can't find you. We've done that twice now, and my dad only found us the first time. Stalkers are cute in the movies. They do things like impersonate strangers to get to know you or play love songs in your driveway. In real life, they break in and wreck stuff. They steal your mom's things and sell them for drugs. They break bones and slap you so hard you see double for a week. They are scary and terrible. They're also expensive. You don't get your deposit back on apartments when you run out in the middle of the lease. My dad hadn't come for us since we moved to Portland. That was 2 months ago, but you wouldn't know it from how often Mom checks the door locks, or from the sour feeling I get in my stomach when I see a Polynesian guy at a distance. There aren't that many of us in Oregon, so my gut assumes it's my dad, even when there's no way it could be him. Between the weak Facebook chats and my having memorized the movie, I was actually making progress on my report. Enigma was how the Allies used math and psychology to break German codes during World War II. It saved lives, lots of lives. I figured it counted towards Mrs. Keller's assignment. When my computer beploinked, a new message box came up. It was a friend request from a name I didn't know, but I could guess who it was. A chat box appeared only a second after I accepted. PDX Susan. Susan freaking Parker being the name of his crush. You're doing this all wrong, Morgan. You're supposed to stalk me. I smiled. It's possible I shouted woot out loud in an empty room. Talking online's easy. Even talking to Susan. Sure, my hands shook on the keys and my breath came a little fast, but I could still check what I typed before sending it. You can't hit the delete key face to face. Me. We already went on a date and everything. PDX Susan. Insufficient, sir. Me. Seriously? PDX Susan. Seriously. You're supposed to keep chasing me even after I've been caught. Don't you know anything? Me. Okay. I thought for a minute about how to keep chasing her and settled on going with the basics. Me. I really like you. You're sweet. PDX Susan. How? Me. What? PDX Susan. Tell me more nice things about me. How exactly am I sweet? My phone rang. I glanced to where it lay on the table to see if it was Mom or Mrs. Dechevnia from downstairs. I didn't recognize the number, so I hit ignore and got back to the screen. Me. It was sweet of you to let me sit in your car and get warm. PDX Susan. You didn't leave me much choice. I couldn't abandon anybody in such a pitiful situation. Me. So you're saying I'm not special? I deleted and retyped that 3 times before sending. It might have been too bold, but Susan seemed pretty clear about what she wanted. PDX Susan is typing, my screen said. For a long time. That meant she was typing a long message or that she kept deleting and retyping just like I had. Either way, that was a good sign, right? My phone rang again. The same number. I hit ignore. It rang again immediately. More ringing for me, more ignoring for whoever was calling. Whoever it was could wait. PDX Susan. I'm not saying you're not special. Me. Thanks. Thanks so much. Quit with the compliments before you embarrass me. PDX Susan. What did you expect? A poem? Me. Yes. A sonnet. Like from Shakespeare. PDX Susan. How about a dirty limerick? Me. Laugh out loud. PDX Susan. Really? Me. Well, kind of. PDX Susan. I don't think I've ever seen you laugh. More typing and deleting on my side. That's because you make me nervous. No way. Too much. Too soon. Only my mom can make me laugh. You have to be kidding me. I went for halfway inviting, halfway accusing. Me. Only because you're not around me very much. My phone blew up with text messages, 3 in a row with pictures. They were all from that same strange number. It wasn't the number for the pizza guy, so it had to be a prank. If I opened one, I'd probably wind up staring at some teammate's junk or something. I was about ready to turn off the phone completely. I did flip it to vibrate so it wouldn't break any more of my concentration. My computer blinked again. PDX Susan. Well, maybe we should do something about that. Wow, I thought, Susan freaking Parker. Wow. Me, I think so too. PDX Susan. When are you free next? Tonight, I wanted to say. Tonight I'm free. I'm free and my mom's not home. But I didn't. I don't know if I was more afraid of disappointing mom or getting caught by Mrs. Dechevnia or what might happen if Susan said yes. Me, IDK. When are you free? PDX Susan. How about tomorrow? Afternoon? Somebody knocked on my door. Probably the pizza guy. I got up and fished some bills out of a drawer where mom had left some money for me to use while she was gone. Me, AFK, BRB. PDX Susan. Frowny face. My phone buzzed on the desk, rattling around among the pencils and notes. I spent the whole day alone and now everybody wanted to talk to me all at once. I snatched the phone up and punched answer. What? I shouted into the mouthpiece. Who is this? What is so important? Sage Kaiser's voice came through the speaker. By now in the book we know that Sage Kaiser is his wrestling teammate who is also a demon fighter, the person who saved his life a couple nights earlier. Don't answer the door. Don't do the what? The voice in her words threw a wrench into the engine of my brain. What's going on? No time. Go to your bedroom window. Do it now. Don't ask questions. Knock, knock, knock on my apartment door. The pizza guy was getting impatient. No questions. You're in danger. Move now. With a last glance at the blinking cursor of my chat box, I decided to trust the girl who saved my life once already that week. I slipped through the hall into my bedroom, shut the door behind me, and flipped the little privacy lock. Those locks don't do any good against a determined adult. My dad had taught me that. But it helped me feel a little safer. I walked to my window and pushed back the curtain. Our apartment was on the second floor. Below me, on a thin strip of grass between the building and the parking lot, stood Sage. A cell phone glowed in her hand, and she was staring at my window. Beside her stood Yuki, who was the other person who saved his life that earlier night. No, two Yukis, side by side. Only one of them held a cane. He was dressed all in black, like he was the other night. The other wore a tropical shirt and tan shorts, even in the chilly Portland wet. I saw Sage's lips move a fraction of a second before the word came through my phone. Jump. The pizza guy knocked again, louder this time. It sounded like he was hammering with the side of his fist instead of rapping with his knuckles. Aggressive for a delivery date. That's my pizza at the door. No, Sage said, it isn't. One of the Yukis fiddled with his phone. A text message came through on mine. I opened it to see a photo of my front door, time-stamped 2 minutes before. The pizza guy was there, red insulator bag held sideways in one hand. Two other guys crouched on either side of the door. They both had baseball bats, but neither were carrying a glove. What is going on? I shouted into the phone. Cold sweat broke out on my neck and forehead. Those guys weren't the bullies from school or their friends. I'd never seen them before. How many people could want to kill me on the same weekend? What did I do? Sage's voice was intense, commanding. Not with the power I'd heard the other night, just with an unshakable certainty that she had the best plan. She said jump again, and somehow made it sound reasonable. The pizza guy, or whoever he was, hit my door hard, with a shoulder from the sound of it. I grabbed my shoes and put them on. You can't say I don't learn from my mistakes. I opened my window and punched out the screen. Below, Sage and the Yukis made a hole for me to land. Each Yuki watched opposite corners of my building. I glanced around the room. Bedrooms hadn't been the safest places for me, and I'd had a lot of them over the years, but I was starting to get used to this one, and it meant something to me. I sat on the windowsill and swung my feet out over empty air. I jumped off higher things at the beach and landed just fine, but that was onto piles of loose sand. Not onto grass, and definitely not off the asphalt that would catch me if I missed. Another crash came from the front of the apartment. Whatever happened when I landed, it wouldn't hurt as bad as a bat to the side of my favorite head. I breathed in, looked Kyle in the eye. That's a poster on his wall. He had nothing to say. Maybe I'd end up with a story like his. The winter air tasted like cold metal in my mouth. I jumped. That's the end of the chapter.